So, thank you all once again for tuning in
Absolutely,
to
guys.
the pHD Beta HOTS tournament. Once again, check out our sponsors, Twitch.tv and Astro Gaming, throwing in $1,000 a piece. This is for $250. It is currently tied up. We're going into Game 3. The map is Star Station.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and do the intros real quick. Down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we do have the red Protoss player. It is, of course, the granddaddy Protoss, WhiteRa. And over in the top left-hand corner, cross spawn here, it is going to be the yellow Terran player, KawaiiRice.
And what an impressive series we've had so far from these two guys. I mean, a great build coming out of Kawhi in that last game. Something we haven't seen before, a different look. You know, the three naked Raxes. You called it the 3-1-1.
The 3-1-1.
The Warhound, Marine, Banshee with Cloak. And the cloaked Banshees, you know, you mentioned, you know, God, just a scout would have been so important for WhiteRa right there. But the cloaked Banshees, in essence, deny that scout because the Protoss player is so worried to send an observer out. He doesn't want to leave one of his bases naked.
That's really smart. He has to leave the observer
He
at
has
home.
to, essentially. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to, but, you know.
But if you don't, like, you're going to lose a lot of probes.
Yeah, if you don't, you run the risk of losing so many probes. So opening up with the super quick cloaked Banshees gives him the map control, denies the scout, and then the all-in is essentially undetected.
So now let me ask you this question, Peonies. You're giving you're an experienced Terran player. You know, placed very high at MLG several times. The 1-1-1, very powerful build in Wings of Liberty.
Absolutely.
One of the hardest for Protoss to hold off. Still is. Now you have Warhounds mixed into it. As a Protoss, how would they hold that off?
Man, you know, that's a good question because the Warhounds are so fast that they allow the all-in to move so much quicker. A 1-1-1, the Protoss generally held it off by trying to engage the Terran in the midfield, force him to siege up, unsiege, engage him again, force him to siege up, unsiege. You can buy enough time that you can chrono out enough units in order to eventually crush the push. Now, in Heart of the Swarm, we see these, you know, Warhound all-ins coming much faster, and there's so much, the Warhounds have such a fast base move speed that they move so quickly that I think the Protoss player has to rely on sentries and potentially maybe 1 to 2 cannons at the natural.
Oh, wow. So you're advocating building a forge and making cannons at the front, and that actually doesn't sound too bad because there aren't siege tanks now in the 1-1-1 all-in version of Heart of the Swarm. It's replaced with Warhounds.
Exactly.
So
and the sentries can buy you time. And I think that's what really, really hurt WhiteRa in the last game. I think 3 sentries maybe there would have bought him enough time to start chronoing out a few extra rounds of units. He might have been able to get enough to hold it off. But if you just allow the all-in to essentially run up the natural ramp and straight into the natural, WhiteRa just didn't have enough to hold it off.
And I guess as Protoss, you have the Mothership Core as well, which adds another layer of defense.
Yeah.
Which can be very helpful. That last game, though, he was out of position with the core.
Yep.
Because he expected the Banshee harass.
And what a great read on his part.
Really, well, actually, really good build from Kawhi, too.
Oh, yeah.
Send
something we haven't seen before.
Pull the Mothership Core away. Keep the Observer in the main base so you don't get scouted.
Really interesting stuff coming out of both these guys.
Now, this is Star Station, and huge map, cross spawn as well. We're seeing quick expands out of both players, but Kawhi did open up with a Reaper, and there it is. So the Reaper's inside the main base.
And this is actually a build that I almost use exclusively against Protoss. You get the Reaper out, you get a few probe kills. I know. 5 probe kills right there. You get the Reaper out, you get as many probe kills as you can, you immediately swap the factory onto the tech lab, and you start to get out Warhounds. Then you can also add a medevac a little bit later on for a potential Warhound drop harass. It's actually something me and Kawhi have played around with a lot, and it works in TVT as well. It's just a very, very effective build. The Warhounds are incredibly fast. You can take map control, but there are 2 Zealots and a Stalker out on the field. the Warhound should be able to actually kite for quite some time and deal with this. Is he going to pressure in?
I don't think WhiteRa is going to be able to do much damage here.
No.
Because the Warhound's coming out, and you guys are about to see how good a Warhound is against a Stalker plus Marines. Look at the Haywire plus the auto attack drains the shields immediately.
Wow, WhiteRa's actually going to engage here. Yeah. See, the problem here is that the Warhound is just going to be able to kite forever, and it has so many hit points. And look at the micro from Kawhi here, going to be able to pick off that Stalker. Haywire procs again, and yeah. KawaiiRice is going to be able to clean this up with hardly any losses. 2 Marines go down, but he could care less about that.
That's another advantage stacked on for KawaiiRice. He already got 5 probe kills, and now he's going to open up with a double Zealot Stalker advantage, and killing those as well.
And here comes the medevac.
And we've been playing around with this, man. Medevac dropping Warhounds is insanely good. Like, he's healing it now, or repairing it with the SCVs. And when the Warhound drops off behind probes or SCVs, the auto attack does a ton of damage to the workers. The Haywire does a ton of damage to the workers. In fact, if you drop 4 Warhounds behind a mineral field, in about 3 or 4 seconds, they'll kill like 10 or 12 workers.
It's pretty insane. And you've mentioned this before yesterday. It only procs against Protoss and Terran.
Right.
They do have the mechanical mining units. So KawaiiRice, you know, exploiting that fact a little bit here. Great decision on his part. We'll have to see how he transitions out of this build. I like to continue with mech, but Kawhi generally likes to transition back into bio.
And he's adding stim right now, so it looks like he is going to go back into bio. One thing to note as well is the good thing about Warhound dropping, and I mentioned this before, I'll reiterate again, unlike Hellion dropping, Stalkers usually are the right response to counter medevacs, but against Warhounds, they're not that good.
And
so the Warhounds can hold
the
their
medevac
ground.
on the way in.
And here comes the Warhound dropping down, and like the Stalkers are not going to be effective here at all.
No,
he should actually snipe the medevac, but he's going to go for the Warhounds instead.
Oh, that sentry just got bopped.
Yeah. And will the medevac go down? No.
So, KawaiiRice, I'm not sure why he decided to go in at that angle. I think actually going all the way around and dropping in the mineral line would have yielded him a much better result there.
Dark Shrine on the way from WhiteRa.
And we all saw what he did with that in Game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about, well, I was going to say, when Terran players go mech, because he did open up Warhound, they're usually not prone to getting an engineering bay, but Kawhi did switch back down into bios. So do we have an engineering bay on the way? Not at the moment.
He already has one.
Oh, okay. Where is it? I don't see it.
Top left.
There it is. Okay, sorry guys.
He's got 2 of them.
Oh, okay. So he can get missile turrets, and he can potentially get the detection he needs. There is a Warhound dropping out here on the outside.
Oh man, look at this kiting from Kawhi. He is taking out so many units, just doing an excellent job with this Warhound harass. But
looks like he lost a medevac too.
Yeah, he did, and he lost a single Warhound, I think. But the important thing here is that he didn't utilize the Warhounds for what we were talking about.
Right.
The Haywire proc on the probes.
He never got inside the mineral line.
No, he never did, and I think that's really what you want to use that drop for. I mean,
absolutely.
Killing a few Stalkers, it's nice. You net yourself a little bit of an advantage there, but I really think that trying to hamstring their economy and taking out as many probes as possible in the early game is the way to go. First DT is warped in here. Proxy Pylon outside the third. Is he going to go to the main? Is he going to go to the third? We'll have to see what he decides to do.
Now, usually Terran players, when they see this blur, they might think, is it an Observer or DT? And now he should know for sure it is a Dark Templar. Kawhi needs to get these SCVs out of here. He's one-shotting these workers right now. 5 workers have been killed. And now Marines and Marauders coming down. This DT will get out of the way. It will get just out of the comsat range, but a second comsat comes down.
He is forcing a ton of scans, though.
Absolutely. And each scan, I think someone did the math on that. What is that, 270 minerals?
Right around there.
Yeah, so that's... It's an effective trade.
It's a fair trade. It's a fair trade. And especially since the first DT killed 5. Another DT on the way in here to the third. He's going to pick off that SCV, making the missile turret. Might even get the missile turret and force an additional scan here. Yeah. One SCV goes down. He just double muled. No scans remaining.
Yeah, there's no scans remaining, and now White.
He does have an extra one.
Oh, he's just saving up. See, he has a lot of scan energy saved up right here on it. 2 more scans ready to go. So at this point, WhiteRa's DT attacks will probably be null and void. And at this point, do you feel like the DTs have paid for themselves?
I think at best he broke even. Maybe not paid for themselves in the entirety, but he is using them now to make Archons back at his base. So there is a secondary benefit to having that Dark Shrine. So I don't think that the Dark Shrine was a total loss.
Sure.
Total SCV kills, what are we at, 6?
I think it's about close, 6 to 7.
6, okay. So, you know, he did do a fair bit of damage there, but breaking even at best.
Right. And one thing to note here is WhiteRa is pretty far behind in upgrades. That's the cost also, the opportunity cost, if you will, of going for Dark Templar. It costs a lot of gas, it costs a lot of tech, so he had to sacrifice his +1/+1 upgrades. Yeah, he's getting 1/1 right now, but 2/2 has already started for Kawhi.
Very good point. Kawhi will have an upgrade lead here, no doubt about it. So he's going to have to shift some of that Chrono Boost attention over to the Forges and try and catch up in that regard. Right. We'll have to see where he decides to use those Chrono Boosts.
Right. And WhiteRa's still throwing up pylons around the edge
I
of the
love
map.
how he's just throwing up pylons everywhere. He's just getting such good map control.
It's good to spot the medevac lanes as well.
Absolutely.
Because they take this northern route.
Absolutely. And if the Terran player moves out towards the midfield, you have an opportunity to potentially warp in some charge lots for some harass.
Oh, don't know where he was going. Wrong neighborhood, buddy.
Sir, why are you sending me into 15 charge lots, sir?
I just got the image of the guy who got sent into Greece in the Rome 300 movie. He got sent in and he got killed right away. He got kicked down the hole. This is
WhiteRa.
I'm just a messenger.
All right, now KawaiiRice here is getting ship weapons. 2/2 is about to finish. He's continuing to mass bio here. It looks like he is going with a primarily bio Wings of Liberty style here with the Warhound opener, transitioning back into bio. You know, he's looking outstanding here. Supplies 154, 156 now for WhiteRa to the 150 of KawaiiRice. Both players relatively even. WhiteRa does decide to take that 4th a little bit earlier than KawaiiRice.
Might give KawaiiRice an opportunity here to take that down.
Yeah, he may indeed.
He's moving out across the map right now. WhiteRa should see this with his DTs. And he sees the impending movement of troops. He needs to get his forces in the position.
He has a ton of charge lots, but he doesn't really have anything to supplement that.
Yeah, and I think he was going to charge out Archon here.
There are some Archons back at his natural, though, and okay, there we go. So he does have one Archon here. He does have Storms.
And he's got a great concave setup as well. Oh, Kawhi could be walking into a terrible trap, but he's got EMP ready.
Nice
he gets
feedback. Beautiful feedback.
Feedback.
Two more feedbacks go down.
Yeah.
He's got some extra storms. Charge
and
lots coming in.
Purifying as well. WhiteRa pulling out though. He doesn't want to engage just yet. He's going to lose the core. And a storm. A second storm comes down. Will WhiteRa have enough to defend here? He will. Oh yeah, he will.
I think he will.
Oh man, he will.
Great kiting coming out of KawaiiRice here, trying to pick off as many zealots as he possibly can.
He needs to evacuate right now.
Yeah, and I think he will, and he can. There's really nothing to pick off these medevacs here. He's just trying to pick off as many zealots as he can. An excellent stutter step micro here coming out of KawaiiRice, picking off zealots left and right.
Overstimmed though.
I agree. He's overstimmed and he's losing more units than he really needs to. It looks like he's just going to sacrifice the remainder of these units. A ton of stalkers getting warped in on the high ground. No blink out just yet though. And blink is something that we've seen WhiteRa continue to not, or he's elected not to go for blink in all these games. So really what that does is it allows KawaiiRice to maintain and retain his medevac count.
One interesting thing to note too here is Pain User is you know, WhiteRa probably was going to charge out Archon, you know, because it's a great composition not only against Bio but also against Warhound mass mech strategies like Battle Hellion Warhound. But then once WhiteRa saw all the Bio, he's like, oh, I should add in some Colossus. So he's getting Colossus in support bay, and that is a nuclear missile coming from Kawhi.
And we saw him use those nuclear missiles for some great positional play in that previous match. I mean, he was able to push WhiteRa off of his 4th, ended up taking it out, but didn't evacuate, as you said.
Yeah, he should have pulled out way early.
Yeah, but he did end up losing all those forces, and ultimately that did end up costing him because he lost a majority of his army.
WhiteRa's taking a lot of bases right now, Pain User. He is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base. Kawhi's just now claiming the 4th. He needs to take out that pylon. And I almost feel a sense of deja vu here once again. Kawhi down bases against WhiteRa. WhiteRa making DTs all over the place and harassing the mineral fields. This DT probably won't get much done. But nevertheless, the story, the plot feels very similar, if you get my drift. You know, he's harassing. WhiteRa's just all over the place, plenty of bases, has the advantage, and of course, we have nukes coming from Kawhi.
Yeah, one thing we haven't seen WhiteRa utilize this game that he did in the previous games that you were talking about is that speed warp prism harass. That was just doing so much work for him. will be able to clean this up relatively easily. KawaiiRice adding some macro orbitals here, or he might just elect to float that orbital down, float that CC down and make a planetary there.
That's what I would probably do.
He does have a planetary over at his 4th.
3 nukes on the way right now from KawaiiRice. And a ton of gateways being added on. I just want to take a look at the gateway count right now for WhiteRa, who's got 11 plus. I can't even click all these right now because they're in construction. Blueprint's not ready to go yet.
He's going to be at about 20.
Yeah, that's a lot of gates, man.
Yeah, and when you're going Charge Lot Archon, I mean, late game Protoss with a ton of gateways like that, that's really the strength of Protoss. You can engage at a 200-200 engagement, and then next thing you know, you instantly have 40 additional supply on the field, and that's what makes things so difficult against Protoss in this uber late game.
We do have one Warhound here for KawaiiRice, so one Heart of the Storm unit. We'll see if he makes the Widow Mine. He made one in the other game, and he put it in his mineral field. Which
I know, he was just being a cutie.
Not a bad way to deal with DTs, though. Oh. And, those DTs are going to go down very quickly to the planetary. It looks like Kawhi making a move with his main army, though.
So many Colossus. No Vikings out.
But he's got the high ground.
He's got a few Vikings. He has a couple of Vikings.
He's also got the high ground position over the Protoss player. This is a nice spot for Kawhi. Great EMPs as well. The Zealots can't hit. I don't know why WhiteRa's going to fight here. He should get out of there. And the Storm comes down. And that was such good positioning by Kawhi, just staying away from the Zealots because he had the ledge.
But he's warping in 20 more Zealots at a time here.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent macro. Only 2 Vikings. And those 2 Vikings are not going to be enough to deal with these Colossus. KawaiiRice being pushed back. He's overstimmed as well once again. He's going to lose a majority of these units. Can he make enough? Does he have the production to get enough units out? And oh my god, look at the warpins at the proxy pylon. He's going to try and use this planetary as a defensive position. He needs to start repairing it immediately. Does he have enough forces here? He stims in. Additional Vikings coming in right now and more units. The repair helping out tremendously here. The planetary doing a ton of damage.
I think Kawhi's going to be able to make this hold paying user thanks to the planetary being repaired. And Kawhi is going to be able to push this army back or at least keep his base alive. An incredible hold by KawaiiRice.
Absolutely imperative hold. Imperative hold. And the repair, just everything coming together for him there. And you know, WhiteRa saw the planetary in deep red. He probably thought he could push through and make it happen, but just enough SCVs to continue to repair that. Now
He's not over yet. He's still got more warpins coming. It looks like WhiteRa's also coming around the backside here with some stalker, but this is a bunker back there.
I love it.
4 Marines. I love it too, man. WhiteRa's also back here with the stalker. He needs to hold position. He's in range of the PF. And oh, WhiteRa could kill off this PF.
Maybe.
He's gonna go in with his army. He gets EMP'd. Actually, no, he didn't, but...
no SCVs surrounding the PF just yet. Where are the reinforcements for KawaiiRice? They're coming in from the natural. If the PF goes down, he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Can he save it?
The PF drops for KawaiiRice, but he will be able to kill off this entire army, so all is not lost for KawaiiRice. Meanwhile, he's got to keep these SCVs mining, but the Stalkers take the high ground, and we still have 4 nuclear missiles. Oh my god. Oh my god. We have a nuclear missile being launched somewhere on the map. The first nuke is coming, ladies and gentlemen. And WhiteRa is going to lose some probes here. Not a significant loss. Oh! Never mind, that was a significant loss.
Scratch that.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job harassing over here with these Stalkers, though. Brilliant play. Another nuke going down. Does WhiteRa see it? Does he see it in time?
I don't think he does. He's going to pull the probes away. All right. Gets out of there. The Nexus will take some damage.
Oh, that poor probe. He's like, hello, guys. Boom.
He just came out to the world, man. Just born.
And KawaiiRice, is he making some extra command centers here? He's definitely going to need to grab that 5th once again. He's really not able to do anything in the form of harassment right now. He needs to get some drops going. He needs to get some, maybe get some cloaked ghosts in there, start to nuke away. He's got to take that high ground position back.
And he's bringing his Marauders in. He should be able to clear these Stalkers out. WhiteRa, is he going to blink out? Yeah, he will.
Ooh, that PF going to be able to take some pod shots on that Stalker right there. He will get caught with concussive shells. And KawaiiRice moving towards WhiteRa's 5th here. But I think WhiteRa has enough units to force him back.
This is a dangerous spot, I think, for KawaiiRice because WhiteRa's got a huge Colossus Zealot army back at home,
Yeah,
which
he needs a ton of Vikings, and he just doesn't have them.
Yeah, and he's starving for money right now because of the constant harass. He lost the planetary here, which was a crippling blow for KawaiiRice. If he cannot get enough money right now, he won't be able to get enough Vikings out, and this push could just be it for KawaiiRice. I don't know if he's got enough to hold this, man.
No, I mean, it would take a miracle to get rid of all these Colossus. That is just so many. 7 Colossus. How many Vikings do we have out on the field? 4? 5? 3? Okay, 4 Vikings out on the field now for KawaiiRice. It's going to take a miracle for him to bring this back. And WhiteRa intelligently pulling back. Going to continue to expand, taking a 6th and 7th base.
Oh, he nuked but had to cancel, so he lost one right there because of the photon cannon.
Oh my God.
No way. No way. No. Oh, WhiteRa, what are you doing?
And the Observer's going to make its way in here to help clean up that ghost. That would have been
changed the game.
A potential game changer right there, but unfortunately does not work out for KawaiiRice. And, you know, KawaiiRice right now, you know, what's he to do? What's he to do? What can he get done right now? I've got to think drops.
There is another nuclear missile, but the ghost is surrounded by probes. He has 3 armor, though. Oh, that nuke is going to land and kill so many probes. And WhiteRa and KawaiiRice KawaiiRice trying to launch defensive nukes right now to buy time to stay in this game. He's still got 3 nuclear missiles. You see the nuke? Is that the nuke? That's a shadow of the nuke going out across the map. And that nuke is coming down right now over this base. No? He canceled it. All right.
Doing an excellent job with nukes right now. I'm very impressed. I thought KawaiiRice was just completely down and out of this game, but you know he's managing to make a game of it. He has a large army. He might be able to catch WhiteRa's army split in half here. There is a chance.
Looks like he's going to go in for the engagement. He's going to be able to take out a few units here. There is another nuclear missile coming, but I have no idea where it is, ladies and gentlemen. So I am so sorry, but there is just nuclear missiles being launched all over the place.
Look for the pale yellow
he's
dot.
using defensive nukes.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to catch a portion of the Archons here.
How many can he get?
He didn't get any, so the Archon was able to make it out of there just barely. Nuclear missiles, this nuclear fallout all over the place. A bunker here still with those original Marines.
But Kawhi has to get that 4th and 5th base operational.
Right.
He needs to. It's absolutely imperative. And he's been unable to do so. And every time he does, WhiteRa makes the correct decision, pushes at the right time, takes it out, gets a lot of damage done in the form of the economy.
Yeah, and just look, there are 4 nukes in production right now for KawaiiRice. Both players are maxed on upgrades, by the way. I wonder if WhiteRa has maxed his shields. He hasn't. He should.
No, he's starting to.
He should. Well, he doesn't have it actually on the way.
Yeah, he got shields 1.
Level 1, right?
And I mean, in the super late game as Protoss,
you
should absolutely, especially when you have this kind of bank and this kind of income. Ghost going on a mission impossible.
Dun, 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 dun. I wonder. I don't think there's really any nexuses here for him to hit. He's gonna clip.
1 probe.
I don't know if that's worth it. But oh my God, there's a nuke right there, ladies and gentlemen. But it gets canceled. That nuke could have been serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it looks like KawaiiRice is going to be able to push his army back.
I don't think he should engage here.
No, I don't think so either. He needs to pull back to the planetary. He's going to fight, though. Oh my God, he's going to lose so many units.
Colossus, good unit.
That's a pretty good unit, man.
Melted that front line of bio right there. I think KawaiiRice getting a little overeager there. Are the High Templar going to move in there? Oh.
No, he pulls him back at the last second.
He did have an opportunity to EMP those. He's going to lose this command center as well. Oh, man.
We do have another nuclear missile on the way. Not too sure where.
Cannot.
Oh, he's going to try to bait. He's going to try to bait WhiteRa into the nuke. Oh, but the ghost dies! The ghost dies at the very last second.
He's trying his heart out to make a comeback here with these nuclear missiles. Almost managing to do so. GG is called, and what a game between these two.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that was an incredible Terran versus Protoss. Kawhi now down 1 more game in this set. The total score 2-1. We are going to go on to game 4. right after this quick word from our commercials, our sponsors. So please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This is HDM Pain User. We'll be right back.